This recording is for transformation controls. Ugh. Sorry, this is the recording for tutorial number 2, exploring layers. So you should be already on Moodle, and you're going to download layers.psd. And because it's in a .psd format that is Photoshop document, that means it'll open automatically in Photoshop. So when you download it, you can just click, and it'll open in Photoshop. Once you get it open, you should have something like this. So we're just going to explore some layer preferences you can do. So the first one is, on the right side, we can select our various layers here. You can make them visible or not visible by clicking the eyeball. And then you can rename them by double-clicking their name. So yours says lock, mine says padlock. But either way, you can double-click it and rename it to one or the other. So I can rename it to padlock. So those are just some simple layer tasks. You can also rearrange layers by dragging them up and down, and that'll change where they end up here. And you can lock layers. So you can see the background is locked right now. If we click that lock, it'll become unlocked, and we can move it up and down. And if we want to relock a layer, you'll see there's a bunch of lock preferences here. So you can lock the transparency, you can lock the brush strokes, you can lock the position, and then you can just lock the layer in general. So if you hit lock all, then it can't even be dragged. Oh, it can be dragged. So if you hit lock all, you can't do anything to the layer in the actual Photoshop part. Whereas if you just want to secure the position, you can just hit lock position instead. And then with all of these, to remove the lock, you can just click the lock and it'll disappear. And you can do that to any layer. Also, if you go to the move tool in the top left corner, on my screen, it has this little box, but on your screen, you should see something that says Transformation Controls. If you check that, when you have a layer selected, you'll actually get resizing options on here. So you can resize the layer. So this is one of the easiest ways to make quick transformations is to use the Transformation Controls on the Move tool, and that happens with any layer. And while you're working with it, in the top left here, they have the option to switch between layer and group. And then there's an automatic select. So if automatic select is on, that's normally the default. It'll affect whatever layers below you. If you have a really complicated image and you're trying to make sure a single layer gets affected, if you uncheck the automatic and just switch it to active layer, it'll just move whatever layer you have selected. So if I have the padlock selected, it doesn't matter where I am, it'll move the padlock. So that's what the automatic part does. If you have automatic on, it'll move whatever you click on. If you have it off, it'll move whatever you have currently highlighted in the layers panel. Lastly, you can merge layers. So if you right click on a layer, or if you go to the layers menu at the top, you'll see there's these three options: merge down, merge visible, and merge image. Merge down means it'll merge with the layer below it, so I just merged technology and padlock together. Merge visible means that it'll merge everything that is visible. So if you have anything with the eyeball off, it'll leave them alone. So this is a good way to merge work that you've completed and then turn on work that you still need to do. And then lastly, flatten image merges everything. It doesn't matter if it is hidden or not. It'll delete all the hidden layers and it'll merge all the visible layers. So flatten image and merge visible are similar. It's just flatten deletes all the unused stuff, whereas merge visible just leaves them invisible. So out of those, probably the most important one is just merge below or merge down. So let's say in the trees from the last tutorial, if you have a bunch of trees copied, once you have them set, you can merge them all and then the tree is one object. Lastly, you can also group layers. Group is kind of like merging them, but you can still have them separate and distinct. So if you select them, a couple of selection options, if you hold on control and then click multiple things, whether it's files or layers, it'll select multiple items as you click. If you hold shift, it'll select between two items. So control and clicking lets you select both layers. and then when you right click, there is a group layers button on there, and you can group them. So yeah, that's everything on here. You can play around with these and explore how the layers interact with each other if you want. Spend some time with that. And that is all for layers.